first chapter, verses 11 and 12. And the word of the Lord reads thusly: Therefore they set taskmasters over them to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh supply cities, Pithom and Ramses. But verse 12 is what makes my spirit jump. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. Let me read that one again. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. One more time in case you missed it. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And look at this. And they were in dread of the children of Israel. The word of God for the people of God. Thanks be unto God. I want to begin a new series today entitled Growth. And today I want to entitle our message, Grow Through the Struggle. I don't know if everybody is willing and ready to accept this, but I want you to point at yourself and say, it's time to grow. I need you to catch that. I need you to accept that God desires you to grow. Too many people believe that growth requires optimal conditions. They feel that I only can grow when things are perfect. So when conditions are not perfect, we don't maintain an expectation of growth. This has been our problem. We want to grow in ideal situations. You want to grow when the sun is shining and the skies are wonderfully blue. You want to grow when all of your money is, all of your money is fine. You want to grow loose here. Inside joke, but loose here. I ain't gonna mess with it. But you want to grow when things are splendiferous. You want to grow because things are wonderful. You have nothing that causes you to be challenged or convicted or worried. And when you are looking for life to be that kind of way, you will miss great moments of development and improvement. Because here's the truth. I know you may not like it, but there can be no growth without struggle. Struggle shouldn't be viewed as a hindrance to growth. Struggle must be seen as being necessary for growth. No growth without struggle. Now, when you don't believe that, when you experience your moments or seasons of struggle, you begin to feel as if God has left you and God has turned his back on you and the enemy is winning. But when you understand that the struggle is not meant to be taken as if growth is impossible, but rather the struggle is meant to show you that growth is imminent. All right, y'all missed a good place to get happy. Growth and struggle lets me know that I am on the right path. I know it might seem old school, but the old saints told us if you never run into the devil, it means you must be walking with him. I know y'all don't like that. If you never run into the enemy head on, then they would tell us you must be walking side by side, going in the same direction. But when you are going in a direction contrary to the enemy, there are going to be some moments, some seasons where struggle becomes normative to your experience. And as true as that is, many believers, not folk in the world, many believers are disrupted because they never expected for these struggles to be the way they are. You know, Tangela, here's what we do sometimes. Oh, no. I knew struggles were coming, but we have classified the ones we expected to have. And when you get two of them past what you expected, all of a sudden, now, wait a minute, loose here. I expected for my money to be tight for 2.5 days because my paycheck is coming. And you went 4 days of tight loose here. The devil, he's tearing me away. No. There comes a time when you have to understand that the struggle you know just might not be the struggle you have to deal with. Sometimes, because let's be honest, sometimes the struggles you're familiar with, you can get to a point where you don't even call them struggles anymore. All right. Y'all looking at me like you're strange and I'm strange and talking in Chinese. You know, some of you are accustomed to certain challenges and it's no big deal. You are accustomed to the fact that the last week, if you get paid once a month, the last week before your paycheck comes, things are tight. You're accustomed to that. You don't even call that struggle anymore. All right. I still don't have no honest people here. You that get paid twice a week, twice a month, you expect the fact that 3 days before your paycheck hits, you got to lock down and tighten the belt. It's not struggle anymore. It's just the way things are. All right, I'm still in the wrong church. Those of us who have children expect children to act up every now and then, and you don't even see it as struggle. It's just children being children. And the reality is, it's not the struggles we anticipated that rock us. It's the ones we thought we never would have. And if you falsely and foolishly expect life to be smooth and easy, I come to tell you, you will never grow. If you expect your life to always be simple and always be perfect or as close as you deem possible, you will never grow, because when life seems to go different than expected, you begin to throw up your hands. But why, Dr. Davis, why can we not grow in good circumstances? Wouldn't it be great if we could grow in favorable circumstances? But you know why we struggle to grow in favorable circumstances? Because human nature slacks off when things are too good. Okay, I still don't have anybody real. It is in the moments in which things don't go that you find yourself intensifying your time with God. As long as things were going well, you found yourself lax in your time with, come on, talk to me. You found yourself lax in your time with God. As long as your bills was paid, as long as everybody was smiling, talking about they loved you at work, and you had favorable reports, and you had positive employee of the week and the month. You were being asked to train other people and do other things. Oh, you were enjoying. But as soon as you found some challenges at work, all of a sudden you got yourself back to praying about your day at work. Lord, if you don't come through today, Lord, I'm going to lose this job because, Lord, I can't take, Lord, she got one more time to say something to me the wrong way. Lord, keep me. Lord, I want to represent my church and my pastor right, but, Lord, I got this new title. I got this new position. Lord, I don't want to lose my job and be in the paper for slapping the mess out of her. So, Lord, keep me, Jesus. It's not until. It's not until you are challenged by some things that you find yourself back in the right way. I must have hit a nerve. I must have tippy-toed and tap danced on something. Lord, y'all can't even come back. Lord, Do it for them, Jesus. Keep the temper. Hold their tongues. Lord, keep them in holiness, Lord Jesus. But when things are going well, when things are going smoothly, we find ourselves slacking up in the time we spend in the face of God, because it feels as if what we have done is now paying off. And so we don't stay on our edge. We don't keep our edge there. But in 2 Timothy 3:12, it declares, yes, and all who desires to live godly in Christ Jesus will suffer persecution. I know you read it, but sometimes we forget it. If you desire to live godly, expect the principles of the world to come against you. Job 14:1 declared, man who is born of a woman is but a few days and what? Full of trouble. Lord have mercy. You don't want trouble? Shouldn't have been born of a woman. Guess you should have been born in a test tube or in a lab or something. I don't even know. But the reality is, if you're born of a woman, you're going to have a life that is full of trouble. And here's the part we sometimes forget, Lady Davis. Your trouble is not my trouble. And how many times have you looked at somebody else and said they have no trouble? When they look at you, they say you have no trouble. The reality is the trouble assigned to you is trouble that will trouble you. And so it is through struggle that not only can we grow, but we should grow. In our text here, I'm doing all right. In our text in Exodus chapter 1, notice our text has the enemy of the Egyptians who is concerned about Israel, the people of Israel, the Hebrew. They're concerned about them, even though, number one, they're in a foreign territory, and number two, they are enslaved. I come to tell you, it's interesting when your enemy is worried about you when you're in unfamiliar territory and you're captive. Oh, God, from on high. If I had time or the space, I could stay there. But what I see is that the enemy is not worried about Israel's present. They're worried about Israel's potential. And I stopped by here to encourage some of you that the reason why the enemy is throwing struggle at you is not about your present, it's really about your potential. He's worried if you are allowed to actually grow into your potential, Lord, what he envisioned will become a reality. It's there. It's there. The text shows me that the enemies are worried about them. Even when they say they have nothing to celebrate. Have you ever had people trying to block and stop you when you really personally feel like I almost about to give up and quit? And they have the nerve to be worried about me. And I'm somewhere trying to say, man, you don't even know. If you knew what was going on in my head, you wouldn't be worried about my future. Because in my head, I'm fighting wars. Y'all ain't talking to me. In my mind, I'm having battles saying, will it ever get better? Will I ever get past this? And in my own head, I'm confused, I'm struggling, but you on the outside are somewhere worried because you saw potential. Lord, have mercy from God. He says, look, you don't see it. You don't recognize. And how do I know they're worried about potential? Because in verse number 10, he says, lest they multiply. And it happened in the event of war that they also join our enemies and fight against us, and so go up out of the land. The Egyptians are worried for two things. First of all, they're worried that the Israelites are going to grow to a point that when the enemies come, they'll side with them and they'll be able to overtake us. So what are they saying? We see you as more than you are. Some of y'all missed a good place to get happy. The enemy sees you as more than, touch somebody, say he sees you. He sees you. You see all the stuff you don't have. You see all the stuff you're missing, but the enemy sees you as that one that has potential. And if I ever let them get to their potential, I'm worried that, first of all, Polson, they'll defeat us. Right. And then secondly, Adrian, I'm worried that if they ever reach their potential, they'll leave us. Right. We've been benefiting from them not knowing their potential. All right. We have been gaining and experiencing increase because they don't know who they are. They're trapped in their experience and they forgot their identity because their experience is challenging, but their identity is formed. And because they forgot their identity, if they ever grow into who they are and what they have potential to be, they're going to whoop us and they're going to leave us. See, some of y'all should get happy because the people who you're crying over, them putting havoc in your life, really, watch this, they're prophesying that something you're not interpreting. You're misinterpreting their affliction. Their affliction is because they're prophesying. If you are able to grow into what they see, you're going to be a beast. You're going to be savage. Good God. If you can ever become who they see you as, oh God, we can't touch them. We got to stop them now. Keep them from growing. Keep them from developing because we see more than they are. Look at a neighbor and say, I see more for you. I see. Come on, tell somebody else, I see more for you. Tell them, say, I see more for you. Lord, have mercy. The Egyptians, Donnell, they are intimidated by what Israel could do and could become. All of these are potential. And potential is never realized unless we grow into it. Potential is what sports teams draft players on. They draft on potential. Those players have never played at the pro level. They've never done what's really necessary. So we're not sure that they can. But based upon what we've seen where they are, we believe there is the potential, if they keep developing, to be worth a first round pick. Some of you are missing your places of identification and shouting. The enemy is throwing challenge at you because he sees you have first round lottery draft potential. Oh God, he's frustrating. He's trying to frustrate your career because he sees you have entrepreneurial potential. You have kingdom potential to work on that job and not just make money, but to make an impact for the kingdom. And so he's trying to do something to make you stop growing so that you will never become what he sees you can become. And so he's coming for you. He's coming for you because, look at this, really, he's coming for your potential. And so because there is potential, the enemy does not want Israel to grow, does not want them to grow, does not want them to grow, does not want them to grow because the potential is beyond their present reality. If you stay how you are, we're good. If you stay where you is, we are. If you just keep doing what you doing, we good. The problem is if we allow you to grow, you just might tap in to something God has put in you that is greater than the enslavement that we have trapped you in. So we've got to find a way to hold you at bay. So how do we hold you at bay? We have to stop your growth. And the best thing I know to do is throw struggle. Throw struggle into your life. And so the text begins to show me three aspects of what the enemy does as he attempts to thwart progress and growth. He sets a taskmaster over them. He afflicts them with burdens. And then he causes them to build, watch this, supply cities. All right, let me touch on these and I'll soon be out of your way. He sets taskmasters over them. What's a taskmaster? A taskmaster is someone responsible for pushing them to produce at optimal level for the benefit of somebody else. The taskmaster does not drive the servant to work so the servant can be blessed. The taskmaster drives the servant to work so that the master is able to benefit from this effort. Some of us, I know we don't want to be too honest, but some of us, the enemy is using the taskmaster of our emotions. And our emotions are driving us into foolishness and driving us into instability. Because the enemy understands if I can get you emotional, you'll lose your head. If I can get you caught up in your feelings, you'll lose what you have. So the enemy is trying everything he can to apply taskmasters to your life. Something that will drive you to produce something you don't get to benefit from. He's coming after you. He's pushing you. He said, well, what's my taskmaster? Maybe your taskmaster is somebody else's expectations of you. Maybe your taskmaster is what mama said you would be. Maybe your taskmaster is you trying to live up to what your big siblings, older siblings did. Maybe your taskmaster is tradition. Maybe your taskmaster is the ideal that God's called you to actually circumvent and blow up. The taskmaster is trying to push you to produce at a level that you don't get to benefit. And let's be honest, when you get in your feelings, it might feel good for a moment, but it doesn't benefit. All right, y'all don't, okay, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just too far. Maybe because when my emotions get up, it's good God. If you finally get me riled and my emotions rise, good God from heaven. Lord, have mercy from heaven. And it's not going to be good. the other week, I was doing something, and Sierra was listening from upstairs, and I was talking, doing a presentation, and she said, I just heard him, he was enunciating his words and talking. She's like, that's what he do when he mad. So I don't know what he doing. He must be mad. And she said, I kept the door closed, stayed in my room. Because if he talking extra proper, look, God from heaven, he's hot. and so the enemy sets a taskmaster over Israel, driving them to produce and do something that they cannot benefit from. You have to watch and don't let your emotions ruin your potential. The second thing the enemy does is he afflicts them with burdens. He is attempting to afflict, is to trouble, to disrupt. He's attempting to disrupt and to trouble them with weights and burdens, trying to place undue and unnecessary weight and pressure upon them. When you're dealing with challenge and struggle, you'll find yourself being weighted down by concerns and worries that have no business keeping you from your future. How many times have we been trapped by what we perceive other people think about what we'll do? How many times have we been trapped by what we think other people think of us? And we're concerned about what we think you think about me. And so I can't be me because I'm trying to be the me you expected me to be. And it's a weight I cannot carry. The enemy understands that you will never reach your potential being weighted down by the burden of people. Worried about what she thinks, worried about what he thinks. They're not your God. They're not your maker. They've not created you. When God has given you potential, your job is to fulfill what God has given, not to the pleasure of any individuals. Lord. And when you recognize that, you've got to understand some folk don't like it, because when you find your potential, you can't be controlled by those who saw it but you did before you did. And so they try to weigh them down with burdens. They're trying to keep them from growing.